online class with me Nusrat Alam, lecturer in English, Milestone College. How are you all, my dear students? I believe you all are fine and very busy with your studies right now. My today's online class is on a very important topic. And why do I call it important? Because whenever we learn any language, our main purpose is to communicate, is to be able to read or write. And if we are unable to complete a sentence in that particular language, how is it possible to communicate or to read or write? That's why we need to have the capability of making or completing a sentence in that particular language properly so that we can express our feelings. That's why to complete a sentence properly in any language is very important to learn. And my today's online class is on how to complete a sentence using clauses or phrases. There are two types of completing sentence in English. One is completing sentence with words or phrases, and another one is completing sentence with phrases and clause. My today's class is on completing sentence with phrase and clause. According to our new syllabus, we find this item in English second paper in question number 3, and the total mark of this item right now is 7. Earlier, it was in question number 4 and total mark 5. Question might come, what is a phrase or clause? A phrase is a group of words which altogether expresses a certain meaning. For example, a lot of people have gathered in the marketplace. Here, a lot of these 3 words altogether expresses the meaning of abundance. Again, I have come here with a view to learning English. In this sentence, with a view to, these 3 words altogether expresses the meaning of purpose. So, it is clear to you right now what is a phrase. Phrases are groups of words who altogether express a certain meaning. Then what is a clause? A clause is nothing but a sentence. It has a subject and a verb also. Then why do we call it a clause? When in a big sentence there are more than one sentences together joined with connectors, these small sentences in that big sentence is called a clause. For example, I went there so that I could enjoy the nature. Here we have 2 sentences. I went there is the first one. So I can enjoy the nature is the second one. And these 2 sentences are joined with the connector so that. And these 2 sentences are called clauses. So clauses are sentences, and when we call these sentences a clause, when they are part of a big sentence. So in our today's class, we will be discussing how can we complete a sentence using phrases or clauses. It means we cannot use only one word to complete the sentence. We have to use minimum a phrase or a clause to complete it. My dear students, you must have noticed in this kind of exercises that you have to complete a sentence, but before that one, you are often given some clue sentences. That means other sentences are completed. Then what is the purpose of those sentences over there? For example, yesterday was the first day in my college. When I went there, dash. Here you have to complete the sentence by giving the information what a student could see by going to a college. We just cannot say or give any other information regarding any other places. So we can complete this sentence by this way. When I went there, I saw the students preparing for the morning assembly. So this first sentence, yesterday was my first day in college, is the clue sentence. These sentences give you the clue that about what topic that you have to talk. These sentences are very important. You cannot avoid them. They give you the clue about which topic you are going to talk in that next sentence. So, you should read the whole sentence carefully, the whole exercise carefully, and then start answering. My dear students, while answering a completing sentence, you have to keep 3 things in your mind. What are they? Number 1, using relevant words or phrases. You cannot talk irrelevant things or write irrelevant words. You have to get the clue from the clue sentence and write accordingly, according to the information that is required over there. Number 2, the given sentence could be a part of a well-known proverb. For example, a little learning dash. So here we have to complete it in this way. A little learning is a dangerous thing. We just cannot write any other thing to complete it. And number 3, while completing a sentence, you must be very careful about grammatical rules. If you make any mistake regarding grammatical rules, you won't be rewarded with any mark. So my dear students, you have to be very careful whenever you're completing a sentence. Today, we're going to solve an exercise taken from Navodaya test papers, special model question number 103, question number 3. Before we start solving this exercise, let me remind you how are you people going to write it in your exam copy. First of all, please remember you have to write it in full sentence in your exam copy. Number 2, don't use only one word to complete it because this completing sentence is about using phrases or clauses. So minimum you have to use a phrase or a clause. And one more thing, you should underline the part that you have added to complete the sentence.
The exercise that we are going to practice today has been taken from Navodaya HSC test papers, special model question 103, question number 3, total marks 7. The question says, complete the sentences using suitable clauses or phrases. I already have described what is clause or phrase. Clauses are sentences, parts of sentences, and phrases are more than one words or group of words who are used to express a certain meaning. And here we have, first we have one sentence that is trees are our best friends. And as I told you, this is the sentence which is giving you the clue that about what item or about what we are going to talk in this next sentence. Trees are our best friend. That means we have to talk about trees over here and as they are considered our best friend. But the next sentence says, but dishonest people cut down trees so that. So we have to say something which is relevant to cutting down trees. And dishonest people cut down trees for what? For getting more profit. But is there any grammatical rule that we need to follow? Here in this sentence, dishonest people cut down trees is a clause, and we have to use another clause because we have a connector over here. And there is a rule regarding this connector so that, and the rules are, if the connector so that is connecting two sentences, and if the first sentence is in present tense, we have to use can or may in the next clause as an auxiliary verb. We have to use can or may. And if the tense is in past tense, then we have to use could or might in the next clause that we are going to use. Now let us notice what is the tense of the first clause. Dishonest people cut down trees. It is in present form and it is an informative sentence. So we are going to use a present tense over here, and as an auxiliary verb we have to use can or may. So we can complete it in this way, so that they can get more profit or so that they may get more profit. Let's move on to the next sentence. Number B, the flower is a symbol of love, beauty, and purity. The clue sentence, the sentence is talking about flowers. And there is hardly any person. In the next sentence, we have to talk about the person who is really somehow related to the subject flower. And here what we have, there is hardly any person. We have one special word that is called hardly. And hardly is a negative word which makes the sentence negative. That means the meaning of the sentence is actually there is no person who. Actually, there is no person. it is expressing a negative meaning, and after hardly, we have to use a singular verb in the next part of the sentence. So there is hardly any person in these kind of structural sentences where we have there is at the beginning. Then we have to use another connector, which is who. After this, the beginning of the sentence demands a connector over here, and that is who. And we can complete it in this way. Who doesn't like flowers? We have used the connector who, and we have talked about something relevant to the person, and the information is about flower. The person who does not like flowers. In this way, we can complete the sentence. So you must be careful enough to use verbs in the next part whenever you have hardly. And in this kind of structural sentence, when we have there is at the beginning, before adding the next clause, we have to use who or what or any WH words as well. Move on to the next one. Number C says, in society, people say many things. In society, people say many things. What people say? People comment over others' activities. They openly talks about different issues. Then in next sentence, we should not give importance. We should not give importance to what? What the people of the society say. Okay, so what the people of the society say, they are not always true or correct or important to us, because we have to do what we need to do or what is important in our life to do. So what we should do? Should we give importance to all the things that the people of the society say? No. So we can relevantly, we have to use some related sentences, words over here to complete it. So we can complete in this way. As I told you, people of the society say lots of things, and some are important, some are less important. So we can complete it in this way. We should not give importance to the useless comments they make. If the words are useless, we should not give importance to that. If they are important, yes, we should give importance. Next one. Number D says, I cannot permit my kid to go abroad. So I cannot permit my kid here, kids, from the word we can understand the boy, that boy or girl we are talking about is very young. He is so young that what happens when a boy or a girl is too young, they are unable to take care of themselves. They are unable to move around all alone. And we are very conscious about the security and safety. So that's why here he is so young that being young, what he is doing or how he is, we have to complete the sentence giving that kind of information. And we have to follow another rule. Here you can see one rule, that is follows the tense of first clause. Who follows when we have this kind of connector? So dot dot that. When we have so dot dot that, this kind of connector, they follow the tense of the first clause. Here the first clause, he is young. He is young is the first clause, and it is in present indefinite tense. So we have to use present indefinite tense to complete the rest of the part of the sentence or in the next clause. So we should use another clause which is in present indefinite tense. So he is so young that being young, what is his characteristics or criteria? He cannot take care of himself. As he is a kid, he cannot take care of himself. That's why I cannot permit my kid to go abroad.
My dear students, have you understood so far we have discussed? Please carefully notice what are the rules these sentences are following, because you have to remember them whenever you are solving them in your exam. So let us complete the rest of the parts.
Number E says, the dog attacked you because you frightened it. If you have not frightened the dog, so as I frightened the dog attacked me, or the dog attacked the person we are talking about here. So Here, two things happened, two actions took place. One, the dog attacked, and two, you frightened it. So here now this same sentence has been written in a conditional form. So if you had not frightened, that means what would happen if you had not frightened? Here we have to remember that whenever you see if at the beginning or if as a connector, you must be very careful that here if is a connector and it is showing that this sentence is in a conditional sentence. So we have to follow the rules of conditionals here. As the first clause, you had not frightened, we have had plus V3 form of the main verb. So this is a past perfect tense. And when we have if plus past perfect tense, then we have to complete it by using perfect conditional in the rest of the part of the sentence. So perfect conditional is have plus would have plus V3. So we have to complete it in this way. If you had not frightened the dog, it wouldn't have attacked you. It wouldn't have attacked you. My dear students, you must be very careful in your exam because these conditional sentences are very common to come in our exams. So you should be careful about using first conditional, second conditional, or third conditional according to the rule. Next one, you can see the picture of Shohid Titumir. Titumir, whom Dash was a great hero. That means we have to talk about this great leader, Titumir, and we all know he is well known for making or building a fort made of bamboo to resist British. He was a peasant leader and he was very well known for his activities in his time and afterwards. So, Titumir, whom we all know for what reason do we know we have to talk something about him, about this great leader. So we can complete it in this way. Titumir, whom we all know as a peasant leader, he is well known for being a leader as well and for making, you can also answer it in this way, whom we all know as the builder or a builder of a fort made of bamboo to resist British. You can answer in both ways. Or if you know some other informations about him, you can also give it over here. The last sentence says, his pitiful condition saddened me and made me dash. Made me dash. My dear students, let me remind you, we have a rule regarding make or made or help. After make or help, use bare infinitive. What is infinitive? Infinitive is one of the form of non-finite verbs. 2 plus B1 is the way how we remember an infinitive. So then what is bare infinitive? Bare infinitive doesn't have to with it. Only B1 form of the verb should be used over here. Though we all know non-finite verbs are not V1 forms, but in this special case, we have to use bare infinitive. So we can use it in this way, complete it in this way, and make me pray for him. We often see students completing this kind of sentences by using only one word. For example, some students might tell that his pitiful condition saddened me and made me cry. Yes, it is okay, but in this kind of completing sentence, you have to use phrases or clauses. So only one word, using only one word is not going to be okay, or you won't be rewarded with any marks over here. So please remember not to use only one word, minimum a phrase or a clause. So that's the end of our exercise practice.
My dear students, did you attempt these questions? Then please tell me what is your score? I believe you also must have been able to solve them properly. So, dear students, please remember the grammatical rules that you have to follow while completing the sentences in your exam. And don't forget, the given sentence could be a part of a well-known proverb. Then complete it accordingly. And use minimum of phrase or a clause to complete it, because only one word is not going to be enough for this kind of completing sentence. And most importantly, underline the part that you have written to complete the sentence. So, my dear students, with the hope of your better result and better education, I'm going to end up my today's class here. See you some other time with some other topic. Till then, bye bye.